One of the things that I like to do with this dual fader is also to use it with external effects. For instance, if you have a little delay stump box, then you can use the dual fader, for instance, to crossfade between the input and the output of the effect. I have a stump box here. Let's see. It is one of my favorite stump boxes. It's a very simple Boss DD7 delay, which I got at the cash converters second hand for 89, and I think this was even on the Sunday that they give you the 50% discount. So I think I got it for 45, brand new in box. And if we can plug this in somewhere. Let's say that I have a sort of a rhythmic sound. Here. So something very simple. That goes here into the fader. Now basically, if I want to sort of be able to crossfade between this clean sound and the effect sound, what I need to do is instead of feeding it directly into the fader, I first feed it into the matrix. Take the signal from the matrix into the fader. There it is. Because now I can also feed this signal into the Boss stump box. And it's one of the interesting things about this little DD7 stump box is that it actually has a top tempo input. So I'm using now an LFO to clock my envelope generator. If instead of clocking directly the gate of the envelope generator, I first put this into the matrix, and then from the matrix I plug it into the gate, I can actually use the same pulse into the DD7 and you can also hear that I'm overdriving my little poor Boss box, because it's actually made for guitars, and I'm feeding it this hot signal directly from the synthesizer. So basically, instead of going straight into the input of this one, I can actually connect it to a mixer output here. And then we have a couple of plugs that have this red band. And in this plugs is a little resistor that will actually attenuate the signal to a level that is more acceptable for like a line level input device. So my oscillator signal comes in here, and then I go to here, give it full volume, and now can actually open my box without overloading the box and using the gain control. I use a little trick. Because now I am using a stepped random signal that changes on the note, and use this modulate the mix. And we get very subtle changes. Okay. So basically what I'm doing now is I sort of split the signal in two. One goes into an effect, the other goes straight, and then I mix them back together. But we can make it even more complex, because we can also do it in a way that actually we control the feedback of the delay. And to do that, it's always good to sort of first make some little schematic on paper or on the whiteboard on how you would like to do that. So we know that if we want to control, so let's say this is our oscillator, then the oscillator now splits into two different paths and is then mixed back together again to the output, which means that we would have to set the delay feedback here. But let's say that we do it differently, that we I always have to think about this, in which case I always would like to smoke a cigarette. Because basically we would need a mixer before the delay, and we would have our oscillator signal here, and then we would sort of have a VCA function here, VCA, that goes back into the mixer. Now if we say that this is the voltage controlled fader, then this will also do the VCA function, and that means that basically we should do our oscillator feed it into one input, feed the output into the delay back into the system, in the matrix probably, then from the matrix to our speaker, and back into the second input of the fader. Am I making sense here?
It's a feedback loop.
You all agree? I'm not saying something completely stupid. I'm still awake, although it's late on the day. Okay, let's try it. One of the good things about this little Boss DD7, which I like very much myself, although it's a super cheap box, is that you actually have two outputs and you can patch it in a way that one of these outputs only gives the effect signal. Because that is quite important, because if we feed the original signal that goes through the delay also back, then that will build up, but without delay, so sort of create distortion. We only want the clean effect signal, and we can actually do that with this box. So I just remove all the cables here, and see if we can maybe patch it up on this matrix so it is a bit more clear, because we wouldn't have these cables. So
Rob, on that delay, should have another output then, shouldn't you? Have you got a clean signal coming out as well as a delayed signal?
yeah, the clean signal is on the other output.
Yeah.
Now actually the other outputs are the clean and the delayed signal together.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a bit tricky. You have to always look on the little thing which in an output you have to use.
Yeah.
So we have an oscillator. We take this one. That goes into the dual fader. Then the output of the fader goes into the input, the effects only input of, which is B in this case, of this box. But I remember something, and that is that if I put a full level signal straight into this one, I overload this box, so I actually need to attenuate the signal to there. So instead of going directly to this box, I actually go into the first row of the matrix and use the magical line level plug. Cannot overflow. So I go into the delay, then from the delay I come back. I have to go into the matrix because I actually have to split here. Anytime I have to split, I have to use a row in the matrix. That's the trick basically. So I have my output, which is output A. Go here into the matrix. From the matrix back into my crossfader. The good thing is I have my gain control here, so probably I can use that. And then I can also, from the matrix, go to the outside world. But I'm still a bit attenuated. So I can actually choose to also feed it into the B input of the second fader and use the B output of the second fader to listen to, which is my blue cable here. So I can add a bit of gain. And let's see, I have sound here, that goes in here, that goes in here, that goes in here, that goes in here. Yeah. And now I have to play with the gain control here and the input level setting here to no feedback, a little bit of feedback. So much feedback. So let's trigger this one with a little envelope. Now can actually control the feedback of the delay. I can see if I can get to the point where it...